Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing look at Black Ice 10.4 for Hearts of Iron 3. We're going to continue this, but before we do, again, I gotta say this, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and also please like this video. It really does help. Also helps you, that YouTube will know that you like things like this, and maybe show you more. All right. And of course, I love your comments, even just saying hi. Even if you said hi in the last video, it really does help. Okay, one thing I want to look at here is getting ready here. I noticed it says we can do 3 better laws. Okay, I already knew that we had stepped back from conscription here, conscription laws, and I did notice before that either, I don't know, there's even emergency conscription beyond this. This might be a good idea. We have fairly good manpower. Going back down to a volunteer army reduces manpower down instead of pauses it or pluses it, but get more IC and daily descent change. Not too sure on that. Now, economic loss. We're at full mobilization. It's giving us plus 10% ICs and consumer goods during peacetime plus 20%. Now we're not, let's come over here, using any consumer goods. Why? Again, because of conditions here, because we are also consumer oriented, which has a negative 25. No, it's negative 40 for consumer goods. So plus 20, negative 40 gets you down to a negative 20. So we don't need consumer goods, but with a plus 10 and a plus none for some efficiency, we could go to a plus 10% for heavy industry during peacetime. Okay, so we need to look at this, not during, and I don't know, because I worry about this, is what the AI may be doing if it was running the country here. And so 10% ICs versus, and plus 10% versus no plus, and 10% plus versus 25% plus with a lot more consumer goods. So what we're going to do as a quick experiment here is note 178 is our effective IC base. So we're going to go to war economy. Now do realize once you're at war, you no longer have the big consumer goods need. I don't know that this is a good idea at this time. I don't think so, but I don't do the math so well. Now, okay, so we do this. Here we have a jump 30 here, so we're reducing down. What we need to do is see what the consumer goods here is versus what the effective available IC is after doing these. And we also want to come here to a mixed industry, still reducing down, but not as reducing down as big, but we are not reducing the number of ICs down. Okay, so now industry prepares for war. Now that we've gone to that, we will see how this works. We will, now it's 57, so we're at a plus 57 instead of that. So it's taking 57 away basically from there. We're going to wait for this to recalculate for a day here. We're at the next day. Okay, we're now at 216. I'm trying to do math here, people. 38 ICs improvement according to my math, for a cost into consumer goods of almost 70. I mean, almost exactly 70. So this is not a good thing to do. Now, what I'm going to do here is, just because of that event for industry prepares for war, I don't want that to have happened, so I'm going to quit. Your screen will go black here while I restart this. I want to, instead of just take it off because of that event, I'm not sure. It's set, well, what I believe it is, and I don't know if I've ever looked at that industry prepares for war and nothing really happens. I think it sets a flag that then may trigger other things, other events or decisions later on. You know, once you set the flag, I don't know if removing it would or going back down in one or both of those laws would remove the flag. That's just what I'm sort of worried about. Okay, so we're going to normally, or in the, because it used to not be quite as dramatic. I'm pretty sure we can go look at it, but I don't think it was as dramatic a push for consumer goods before. So I think it was a good idea to move to mixed economy, or move to a mixed economy and go to a war economy early on. But I think what they're really doing is yes, you can do it if you want. You're stupid to do so this early. So yeah, that is what I think is going on here with the game, and that's not a bad idea. Meaning, the only concern I really have for that is what is the AI thinking when it says you can go to better, when it's arguably not better, because yes, you're getting more ICs, but it's costing you more ICs, so you don't have a net benefit. Okay, let's. Spanish Republic canceled. Okay, let's put another garrison unit over here. We're on pause. I didn't know we were on pause. I love the way, playing various games. I love that I can quickly see here that, oh, this is a motorized or semi-motorized or whatever infantry division, and then come in here, still have the divisional, or that is divisional scale, but see, give that, and if I, what is this? Because if I don't know that, just sort of zoom out and you'll see what set the distances. So if you're trying to find, now I do recognize that as being an armor division. I have to, didn't know it was the third, but that's an infantry division. But yeah, so you have this, you just sort of get in the sweet spot if you're just right sort of here between the two. Sort of the best would be, though I don't know if there's really the graphic space, is to maybe decenter this a little bit and put a symbol there for light armor or something. But of course, it may change over time. What's in it? Okay, Sweden paused us. Okay, we'll no longer receive money for energy. We would give them, okay, yes. Denmark, we would give them crude oil. No, we are doing our best to stock up on crude oil. If I can get all this to 999, then I might consider it. But Until that happens, no, we are stocking up on crude. Fuel, we can achieve that or more. Anyways, it's more the oil. It really does seem with this version now, a lot more countries trying to trade with Germany. I don't know what they've changed. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Please, the Fuhrer brigade will attach that right to the Fuhrer's headquarters. That it's a bad thing or an incorrect thing. It's just sort of surprising me how many people want to trade with Germany. Okay, we're going to leave the. No. Okay, let's see. Specialist Army training extended conscription. So extended conscription has happened to us. Hmm? Hmm? Okay, we're on normal conscription. Okay. Oh my God, or whoever, if you happen to watch all this, what? This is confusing. Not wrong. This is confusing. Specialist Army training, extended conscription. Okay. National unity, supply consumption down, reinforcement bonus. All good stuff. But just it's confusing because I have normal conscription set here. So the title here is confusing to me. Specialist Army training. I'm getting that part again from here. Special, for land forces training laws. Specialists here, the highest. I think. Yep. I'm trying to move the mouse wheel. Yes. So yeah, we're getting that, which is reducing our money. Repair speed down. Officer recruitment up. Okay. Good. Good. I'm getting that. That's good. I'm not complaining about that. Not everything I say is a complaint. Should we change head of intelligence here? Yes, we should be. Wyshak can be, but he can, so we'll use it because right now, ooh, money down. Oh boy. We can switch it back, I guess, if 20% money. Okay, let's do this and let's see how this goes. Just not that I'm looking for max money, but so long as money isn't becoming a problem. Okay, now well, instead of 23, I believe it's at 20. Now something else could change, but if that's all we're changing, I'm willing to do that for better min-max stats. So for another day to happen here. Oh, okay, no, that's good. We're on the positive side of that. I just want to make sure we are stocking up on the things that we need to stock up on, and the other things are going all right. We've got 2 subs that we could deploy. No point in deploying them. Actually, better not to, I believe. Right, okay. Well, I'm thinking about putting in more concurrent, not stacked up more, but just checking places that I think are likely to be. Well, maybe I missed. I don't have a modifier for industry, do those first. Of course, Berlin, why am I even clicking there? So I know I maxed that out up in setting. Right, well, let's put a few more industry around. I'm doing it in the east to try to keep it away from bombing. And okay, I don't think in this game concentrating your industry, other than in a location with one of these, a heavy industry building here, concentrating your industry does no benefit for industrial use or industrial capabilities. Now, in real life, there is, because, and that this does sort of affect it. Most industry works together in multiple fields, either subcontractors or even within the same company. One plant building the engines, the other plant building the car bodies, and at a third place, the two are assembled together. But even if you're building all of those in the same place, you still may be able to be near somebody who's actually making the steel, because are you actually making the steel for the engines or buying the steel? Here's a good historical tidbit, and I know many of you like these things as well as just finding out about the game. In America, because I know there's a lot of non-Americans watching us, we call you foreigners, but a lot of non-Americans watching here. There's an automobile company called Ford. You may have heard of it, I'm sure. Yeah, of course you have. But Henry Ford built a primary factory somewhere in the Northeast. I'm forgetting right now what state it was in, but built Ford Automotive or whatever, the main sort of factory. And they did a lot of the work there, making the engines, making the car bodies. Now, this is back in the days of the Model T. Okay. Well, there's a fair amount of wood in a Model T. The car body itself was metal, but sometimes there were for in the car seats and different parts of it, the old spoke wheels were wood, going on there, then whatnot. And there's the early ones that were, and even though you're doing a pressed steel car body, you still have wooden framing or make things a little more rigid. There was wood used in the manufacturing of the cars. Well, there was also you had a lot of waste wood, meaning offcuts. When you cut the stuff, there was a lot of waste, and so Ford is like, hey, I want to maximize my profits. What can we do with this junk wood? Well, I think it was his son-in-law, married one of his daughters, was named Kingsford. I forget who comes up with it, whether it was Kingsford or whether it was Ford. But they put a charcoal briquette manufacturing right there next to, very, very near, don't know how near, but in the same town or whatever, because it was sort of a corporate town that he set up outside of a major city, I believe, but I'd have to look that up. But he set up this charcoal, wood, charred coal, not coal dug from the ground, if you're thinking, but burnt wood. And so that is actually, it's formed into little sort of briquettes, but they're not, you don't stack them, they're little sort of rounded, but they're not round. formatted briquettes. I'm not exactly sure all the manufacturing process, but it was because they had all this waste wood. And now there's still Kingsford charcoal, and nobody really probably out there knows, unless you're a car enthusiast and knows about the old stuff, knows that Kingsford charcoal is or was, I'm not sure if it still is, I presume it is, but I don't know, a branch of, or set up as maybe a separate company. It may have even been set up as a separate company, but owned by Ford and the family. Um, Kingsford charcoal is what to do with this. And so it's still going today, sold all over the United States. Charcoal briquettes to, cook on the weekends kind of thing. And that's the idea there of a concentrated, one factory that is doing one thing, making cars, all of it or part of it. Another factory making something else entirely unrelated, but is there based because you have, well, and I'm sure now it's no longer, because they no longer hardly use any wood in cars, unless it is purely for aesthetics. And even then, I don't know if too many manufacturers still use wood in cars. So it's become a brand and they make it. But wherever they make it, I don't know, but maybe different places around the United States. And so I presume a lot of the charcoal briquettes are still made from scrap wood from whatever, instead of going down and cutting down trees and wasting it, or just to burn it, which is useful. But instead of wasting, wood that is cut up into odd shapes that no one needs, making, reusing, recycling, or however you want to say it, repurposing would be the appropriate term. Repurposing this junk wood into another useful product for cooking, primarily, outdoors. But you can heat, and you don't ever use a charcoal briquette cooker inside the home to heat yourself, because you will die from the fumes. You need to be outside. But you could do it like in a campfire kind of situation, yes. So got to say that because every time when there's a cold snap in a normally warmish environment, or the heat goes out, somebody has the bright idea to do it, and the families die just because they're not used to it. They don't know these things. They're not taught these things, and it's not something that normally they need to know. But yeah, don't do that. Hopeful hint of the day. So that you have industries that are needed to be or are more useful to be concentrated in an area, even though they may have nothing to do with each other, because you can have an airplane manufacturer, something like for the Mosquito in Britain, or the Hawker Hurricane, that again is using wood, but again have lots of scrap wood that has no other real purpose that they can turn it into. Now, of course, modern day we have plywoods and whatnot that you use shredded up wood and glued together. But back then, so you may have symbiotic relationships to concentrate your industry. Now, in this game, that doesn't matter except for here, but it does matter for this. Now, this doesn't have this yet, but this has this, the anti-aircraft here, to protect them. So why am I spreading these around? Well, there is a reason. I want these to be all being produced at the same time, and not just waiting for one to get done like we are. Let's move these to just make sure the ones that are, if for some reason it dips down below that, I want to get the ones partially completed first. So yeah, just because I don't need really some destroyers too much. Yeah, we're going to keep these. I want to get more of this stuff done here. But yeah, it's going to take 6 production cycles, and they'll get cheaper and they'll get faster to build as time goes on, as we do more of this. 6, 5, 4, whatever. But production cycles to run through to get those into production, where we can have these others in production today. And so I normally build most of that in the east, but I also do some in the west too, just for fun. Okay, metal, yes, metal I sell. Metal I sell. I can always stop that if we really get hard up for it. But a little money coming in from some of that is good. even if we, after knowing on my last test playthrough, I needed to increase steel foundries, steel refineries. We very well may need to do that. Should even be doing that now. Experience will tell us as, again, things are reset up. I'm not pushing as hard for the, mixed economy and war economies right now. Let's look at the math here just for the moment. Okay, no, not mobilization. If we were to go here, 10% more ICs, negative 25. That's probably what we should do here. Let's look over mobilization. We're currently on here, negative 20. So yeah, you should probably do this. Is come here and go to mixed economy. Okay, now we do have that. Let's see, 11. Okay, so long as let me just see. It was at, I don't want the day to go by. Another day to recalculate things. Okay, there we go. Okay, so well, now we're back calculating down to that as a percentage. Okay, so we went up. Wow, we went up just about as much as that other one did. Wow, we went up a lot. Okay, so this is much better. Okay, this is where we should be at. We'll get more things into production and run the economy a little better. We are, again, this is currently at 9. We've gained more than 9. See, that's the thing. You need to look, because it was at 78 and I don't know, 83 or whatever. But if you gain 20 but lose 10, you've gained 10. Kind of thing. So that is a better. Okay, dance show for the Winter Olympics, the closing ceremony. I normally go no on this because I'm playing with Tanganyika, which is, I believe, because I've never played this, but just because I know I do a lot of immersion into this that I don't think they do. But we will. Okay, well, until June 36. Minus 50% money. No, thank you. That seems awfully effing expensive. Bank for International Settlement, the main event. For some reason, there's a smaller one. I'm not sure quite why. And then there's this big one. We'll lose the supplies, gain money, gain some 4% ICs, down 15% on supplies, but more money and leadership modifier. So yes, I think on the aggregate, again, somebody who either does math better or has calculator. Okay. Now this is what I think some people have complained about is taking, let's see, that this may be down 26% in ICs until July 36. Supposedly, now, okay, here we may know, or somebody may know. Again, I've just quickly been skimming the forums and people talking about some of this stuff. The idea that was said, and if from what I'm skimming and what everything is correct, this is supposed to be a bit cheaper than actually building out these units. You could, if this is what I'm reading is, and I think Dave may have instantly gone on the map. Up to here, and we can see here, yes, there's that. Now, well, they still need to reinforce. Well, that costs money to reinforce, or costs research, or ICs. So these are on the map instantly. Supposedly a little cheaper. I'm not sure about that point. Now later on, we may not know whether it's cheaper or not, because it depends on, because it's a percent thing. It depends on how many ICs you have. So have you built a lot of ICs? Okay, so now we're down at 86, right? ICs instead of, make sure we have enough consumer goods, or 186, yes, of course, until July. Yeah, that's probably correct, because let's look here. Well, let's close this. I'm ignoring this machine gun focus for the moment. Let's come here. Let's come to, oh, can't you stay up? Okay, let's see if I can remember something here for a moment. Okay, basically everything's standard as you would do a division. Right, okay, so let's come here. Infantry regiment. I think it's just artillery, anti-tank, reconnaissance, force, HQ. What am I forgetting here? Engineers. And yeah, it's just regular artillery. Engineers, I wondered if, I know I went by them and I was wondering. Okay, so here is 8 ICs approximately. And 4 times 8 is 32. And so we had been at what, 213? Yeah, this is a little cheaper. These 4 divisions here are a little cheaper than and through till July. Let's we're experimenting here, trying to figure this out. They've probably done this, but this is also for me and my own sanity, shall we say. Okay, so April. Yeah, 180 days. It seems about right, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully I'm getting it right. Hopefully I'm not looking too stupid. Well, I'm a little stupid, I know, but let's roll this down a little bit. Not very far. I still want a nice cushion just to keep some more of this stuff in production here. So yeah, those 4 divisions are cheaper than building them normally. Right. If all the math is working out. Okay, machine gun focus, which is now here and too far in advance, and that gets rid of that. But what else hit? I think there was 2 of them. Well, maybe just that, and something may have kicked in more leadership somehow. How are we doing? We have enough spies. Okay. We'll come up infrastructure here. 36. Probably got all of these, but it's been now a day since I last really looked at this. We could do the 37s. That's not too far in advance to make it worthwhile. Well, let's do a 34 there. Okay, and we still have almost another whole IC. All right. secret, no, not, and I already have whatever these are. Again, these are, I think, are for the armored, self-propelled, motorized, heavy. I think these are all for the mixed units, mixed detachments. Just, I'm guessing here. These could be given by an event. And that may be what we're seeing. All those events. Do you want to add? Yeah, because you remember. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wow, good. I've just realized what I'm looking at here now. Because you remember before, and it was hidden. Okay, before it was hidden, and I understood that, and I didn't even think of this here. Okay, so you have basic artillery. And so if you wanted to see what the difference was between, for like pack art, because you had the choice of, do you want to do keep it basic or do rocket or pack artillery, to those three for the again, if I'm not, in my excitement, I'm not explaining this well. This is for these two units, mixed support and motorized support. I mean, they're both mixed, but one is just standard mixed and one is for motorized. So now you can come here and hover over and see for mixed support artillery. Do you want artillery? You want rocket artillery, which normally has more soft attack and maybe more fortress, or no, not more fortress attack. Soft attack, yeah. So +7 versus +5. Or do you want pack artillery, which would be good for rough terrain attacks, but down more so, and then because you see it's now just +1.5 for soft attack. But you can see for attack and defense and forest will probably be much higher, and woods and urban. Well, I don't know about urban, but jungle and whatnot will be much higher. So if you were wanting to primarily use your mixed support for, hey, fighting down in Africa, and that's just where you're planning on using it, with all the jungles and junk down there, or in Asia maybe, if you're Japan maybe, and you want to use your mixed support in various rugged terrains, could be mountains going after Tibet, or coming after, Burmese jungles. Pack artillery might, with the modifications for the forest and jungles, might be better, because we can look at here, down, jungle attack +30%, pack artillery, jungle attack +45%. So yeah, it's just 15%, but now it's down here, but it's calculated 7. Yeah, so it may not be very good, but also movement penalties here is for jungle -15%. Here, jungle -55%. So you're going to be much more mobile with this in jungle. Again, just as why you might want to have a weaker artillery unit. And so like if you, again, and I'm sure some of you have already got this far, but I'm just talking and thinking. So if you're just going to do regular infantry divisions, and all your regular infantry divisions are going to be, or 95% of your regular infantry divisions are going to be like this. They're going to have this artillery on. You don't need mixed support when you have this. You could maybe reduce, get rid of the pioneers and put in mixed support, which will enhance depending on what you picked. Now, if you picked something here, you could pick, artillery, anti-tank, reconnaissance, and engineers, or you could pick amphibious, or I don't know, whatever it might be. These are all the basic stuff. You could pick amphibious or assault guns or heavy anti-air or whatever instead of, or you could do like I did, anti-air detachment, where the regular unit doesn't have anti-air, but does have an engineered detachment here, where this was hidden before. I mean, all this was here, but you never had it a panel, so you couldn't I could judge sort of, this is rugged terrain, be better if I want to do that, but what's the variable? This tells us we can now see the variable. So this will never be something that we research. It'll be just like here, that an event will fire and it'll give us X amount of research to make this happen. And this all has country flag, impossible or whatever. So you can't research this, but you can get it through as we add in, because we've done motorized, but as we add in armored and Is it just armored as the next one? Airborne, yes. Or there's a airborne detachment here, so that you can do the various upgrades for some of this other stuff. So this is just giving us transparency into the effects. Cool. So we only need to come over to this to look to see when we do the armored what we want to do, and this would have better informed me when I was doing like motorcycles here, motorcycle detachment versus I don't know what other choice I have for motorized engineered, motorized air detachment, artillery, self-propelled. Is there just a motorized reconnaissance? I don't know. Do we have basic reconnaissance detachments? I don't know. But okay, so that's for, but well, I don't ever need to click here again for just allocating research, I do not believe. Or you don't need to. Okay, I'm gonna improve security units, artillery. Now, some of these have had effect on, I thought, on upgrading some of this stuff, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, we could do our improved artillery brigades. That would be good. Okay, so now the question comes down to is, let's click on one of these. Let's click on this. So here, this is what I think some people were complaining about is, again, until July 36. I liked it better. I'm thinking, you wonder why I go silent sometimes. Here's the trap. Here's the trap. Okay, I'm just going to explain the trap to you here. Okay, so normally in the past, I would take all of these things and just move them down into the inactive file, right? Where now, if I take this, I'm going to take this right now, just because I have this here. I'm not going to keep playing with it here. Gives it to me instantly. Oh, well, it would be under air units, wouldn't it? Because, you know, hey, it's an air unit. Okay. Now, this is fully built out, unlike the these units. So these, you got to do that. I don't like that you have to pay for that and pay for it again. Yeah, I'm going to complain about that. So now we have this fully built out, and we can see here 186. I'm going to believe right now the math is correct. Unpause. Wait for the recalculation the next day. Okay, down at 170 controllable pitch. So I want it to be here. So now we've lost a little bit of ICs to pay for this until July. Yeah, here's the trap. If you don't want to do this now, forming these, because normally what I would do is take these decisions that fire the events and fire them and move the stuff just down here and wait to complete them once I've got the ICs built up, so you can complete them better, faster. Now, if I take them now as sort of they were formed and done, they will add to being more units. And are these here? Are they we reinforce as it possible. These built as reserves? Not sure. But if I wait to take these, that presumably I could wait till later, when I have more ICs, it's going to be 5% of the more ICs instead of 5% of these ICs. Do you get me here? Right now, it's 5% of the base ICs at the percents are all based off of this, not this. Remember, because this is this modified number by up and down of all these penalties. So unit spawning penalty minus 10%, minus 26%, or whatever. Now, where if I doubled this number, instead of, it'll be 10% of the doubled number, which will be twice as many ICs. So if you wait on these, they get more expensive. If you don't wait on these, what I should be doing here is that. Just wait on all the upgrades. Normally, with this thing here, because well, wherever my unit is here, okay, these guys, I don't know what they're, without going, controllable pitch propeller we just got, it has no, so it is going to want to upgrade to controllable pitch propeller, which I do want it upgraded by the war, absolutely. But right now, so this is going to change my play style with these here. Is this better? Well, it's okay. Historical facts. A lot of times in history, including sometimes in the in between the wars for the U.S. Navy, they would have, say, like a heavy cruiser or 6 of them that they were building, and various, whether treaties coming about that limit things, or money is a bit short in the government, or whatever, and they'll stop building something like the Admiral Hipper. They'll stop building it. It'll sit there, and there is a cost to having just something sitting in a depends on where and how they're building it, but they may just have it sit there for a long time. This is before the sort of modern day build them in sections and glue them together type shipbuilding that they do now. I don't know if you've seen some of the photos of how they build ships now, but and so you very well might get, especially something like a heavy cruiser, or if you were doing a bunch of destroyers all at once and then stop the project for 6 months or 2 years. But that wasn't unheard of. And I know going back into like the 18th century, 19th century, particularly the 18th century, is that they'd be furiously building ships in the middle of the war, and then, the war's over. Okay, we got a bunch of these half-built ships there. Just leave them. They're just like the frames and whatnot. Just leave them. Just leave the wood out there. Just let it sit there, and it'll stay good for years. And then if we go to war again, we got some half-built ships we can finish. We're just not going to spend the money on them. And maybe, because they're putting a lot of ships that have been in service, into reserves. So instead of scrapping, now this is with ships. This is with something big and takes a long time. And these are aircraft squadrons, not individual aircraft, obviously. So it is realistic on the ships to go stop production, wait. Now, if there's not anything done on it, it's just sort of sitting in the queue. Part of what I've looked at when these have been put in the queue before is it isn't that gamey. It depends on how much they had anything done. If they were cheaper, I might want to revert back because I'm just sitting here thinking that what why do I want these and not the light bombers? These, just making this now. Why do I want these versus those? Well, okay, build time. Yeah, bingo, done. On we go. 10% ICs, 10% of that. For 3 of those. 9. 10. Yeah, okay, they're 1 cheaper. 2 build time. 3 immersion, just to have the historical names and squadrons. Trying to think here. What Oh My God and team is trying to do is trying to keep from doing this. Just maxing out industry and not doing building other things than that. What I would do at this stage here is okay, yes, here's what I would do to try not to be gamey on this whole thing, to try to be more effective here, is that we can look here, and this has a date. We can look here. Here we can see this. Supplies at least, money at least, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What I would do is do a quick calculation of what it takes or how many supplies you could make for that amount of ICs. For this, we determined, or we can see, this is approximately 8 ICs for 180 days. Okay. Now, I do know that supply production, well, maybe it's better held over here. We can see here, normal black ice, Reich economic, manufacturing plants, the international business thingy, and the German cooperation changes how much supplies you're getting. But you can sort of calculate, okay, have somebody do some of the stuff and just make it so that you need to have enough supplies in here to pay for it. I would make it pay in supplies instead of ICs percentage. This way, they won't happen until you have a big chunk of supplies. See, I see supplies as a commodity here, so I would have it costed in supplies, so that yes, there is a date on when they could first fire, but you also need to have enough supplies and then recalculate. I don't know. That's how I would want to do it. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this episode here. I hope it's been informative, entertaining, helpful. Please come back next time for more playing of the new version of Black Ice. See you then.